All right. Good morning, folks. Good morning from Toronto, wherever you're tuning in from us to us. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Aaron Wang. I am a recruitment officer here at the Faculty of Applied Science and Engineering. And today's event is an international student experience panel. I will introduce our panelists shortly. We're just going to give it a couple more minutes to allow folks to join us. I know it takes a couple of minutes for everyone to get here, so hang tight. If you want to say hi in the chat, you're welcome to. We will be using the chat today to engage all of you and interact between you and our panelists.
Aaron. Hi.
Hi, Noah.
It says I can start my video because you have to enable it or something.
Can you try again? I just made you co-host. That might help.
Okay.
There you go. Mema, can you change your panelist name to your name? Thanks. All right, folks. Still just going to wait one more minute to allow a few more folks to join us, and then we'll get started with our panel discussion. If you have any questions for any of our panelists, if you know any of them, you're welcome to say hi in the chat. And we'll be using the chat today to interact with the panelists as well. So if you have any questions, you're welcome to submit them through the chat. Again, we're just waiting one more minute to allow more folks to join us, and we will get started and introduce our panelists. All right, I will get started. And more folks join us. They will join us at a later time. So again, good morning from Toronto. Thank you so much for tuning in to our International Student Experience panel today. Basically at the very end of the fall semester here for us at UFT Engineering. My name is Aaron White, I'm a recruitment officer. And you've probably, I think many of you have interacted with me via email or attended a previous event that we've hosted. So thank you so much for doing that, and hopefully your school experience has been going well so far this semester. Today I have 5 panelists who have kindly taken time out of their busy exam prep schedules to take part in this panel. So thank you so much everyone for doing that. What I'm going to do right at the start is get everyone to introduce themselves, tell us a little bit more about perhaps your experience so far in the semester. We'll start with Usaid.
Hi everyone, I'm Buse. I'm a first year chemical engineering student. I'm from Istanbul, Turkey, and since the beginning of the semester, I've been trying to adapt to online learning because it was my first semester with this experience. And so it's been very challenging, but like I'm used to it now, but it was very hard at first. So my advice with online learning would be like, you should always like check the requirements and what you need to do and prepare time management, maybe Excel or like a calendar for yourself. I think I found that really helpful for myself, because like online learning requires a lot of self-discipline, because you don't go to class and you don't have professors like, or in person, you don't see them. So it can be hard to keep track of all the things you have to do. So that would be a little advice for me.
Thanks, Visa. Let's go to Dagukan.
So hi everybody, I'm Doğukan. I'm from Istanbul, Turkey, and I'm a second year industrial engineering student. This semester has been a little bit different from my from my experience in the last year, but similar to Busa, I have been adapting to just online learning, and as Busa said, just checking up on assignments, trying to build like I would say a steady study schedule for myself. But thanks to our professors and the way that everything is set up at U of T, so far it's been a great semester, and hopefully it has been the same for everyone else.
Has being part of Indie helped with managing time at all?
Can you repeat that again?
Yeah, no, I mean, just I feel like industrial engineering students, do you think you have an advantage in terms of managing your time just because of what you're learning?
I mean, I'm not maybe like we didn't get to learn how to optimize yet, but I think like in general, in the first year, we got to learn how to like manage our time great, especially in the first semester with the seminar courses we had. So we have a good foundation in that, I would say. But I mean, in terms of being an indie, I'm not sure if like that provides an advantage or not. But yeah, so far everything has been good. So.
Okay. We'll move on to Emre.
Hello everyone, my name is Emre. I'm a second year industrial engineering student and I'm from Istanbul, Turkey. Like, to be honest, this was a tough semester for me because I had to live with a 8-hour time difference. I'm currently in Turkey and we have an 8-hour difference between Toronto and here. So we're kind of stuck in the middle of, living in the Toronto time zone and living in the Turkey time zone. So it's been a challenge. But I think my tip or a suggestion would be when you study with your friends or when you form a kind of a study group, everything is just getting easier because you kind of share all of the challenges with your friends. And when you share all the challenges with them, it's just easier to tackle them. So that would be a suggestion from me. Yeah.
Thanks, Emre. Is it warmer? Is it warmer?
It's a bit warmer, but it's like 10 degrees. It's not that warm.
Okay, that's good to know. It's comforting. All right, let's go to Noah.
Hi everyone, my name is Mama and I'm a second year mechanical engineering student. So for me, this semester has actually been good because I learned a lot of time management in first semester, first year. Also just trying to find things that work best for me. So it's been okay so far. And in terms of like time management, it's really been helpful studying with friends and living with a roommate that's really good with time management as well and who likes to study. So yeah, it's been okay so far.
Thanks, Mama. And you're in Toronto, right? You just came back to Toronto?
Yeah, I came back in Toronto like in October. Yeah.
And I think finally I will go to Paloma.
Hi, I'm Paloma. I'm a first year mechanical engineering student. Right now I'm in Panama, and yeah, like I think I agree with like everything that has been said, like being organized, managing your time, but also like getting connected with your friends and family, I think is also very important. Don't just focus on academics because you'll end up overworking yourself, and that's never good. So try to like get out, be with your friends, stay active too. Like even if it's just like walking your dog or just walking in general, try that, and also like get a good night's sleep. I think that's also always important because it always helps you get ready for the next day.
Yeah, I've been seriously contemplating getting a dog myself just to just to force myself to go out every day. Yeah, at least today it's a sunny day here in Toronto for those of us in Toronto. For those of you in warmer climates, enjoy. All right, so today, unfortunately, Yusuf couldn't join us, so we're just going to have 5 panelists with us today. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stop sharing my screen so that you can see everyone clearly. I did see a couple hands go up in the attendees earlier, so I think there might have been some questions that folks wanted to ask, perhaps themselves or on camera, so you're welcome to do that. You're also welcome to just sort of send those questions in the chat and we can get those questions answered for you as well. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go another round with our panelists. Perhaps if you remember, I think some of us were a little closer to your high school days than others. For me, it's been quite a while. But how did you, back in the day, how did you research your options? Why ultimately did you choose UT Engineering? Most of our, well, probably exclusively all of our attendees are current applicants, so still making their application, haven't yet heard back from us, but I think this information would help them make that decision perhaps later on as well. Let's shuffle up the order a little bit and maybe start with Dr. Khan. We'll come back to Buse at the end.
Yeah, sure. So when I was back in my senior year in high school, I wasn't really sure about my major, what I wanted to major in really. So I was applying to a lot of places, and then I got to know U of T Engineering through a friend of mine in high school, a close friend, and then I actually applied to U of T, but like I actually didn't think that I would get in. To be honest with you. And then I started exploring more about U of T, and I just discovered that it was a great engineering program. It was set up really thoroughly, and I also discovered that I really I just figured out maybe I would enjoy industrial engineering because I was into coding a little bit, and industrial engineering had this reputation of I don't want to say it like that, but a lighter branch of engineering. So that was a good escape point for me. And through that time, I just completed my application, and I think it was in the beginning of May that I got my acceptance, and U of T was my first choice. Through the time that I got to know U of T more after I applied, and yeah, everything worked out fine, and I'm just thankful to be here now.
Awesome, thanks. Going to Emma.
So for me, I think at the beginning of the research process, I was thinking do I want to live in a city or do I live in a place kind of suburban? So after deciding on that, it's of course narrowed down my options. After I was studying, just like Doğukan, I was kind of in the coding and more economics and social science related topics. That's why I was actually considering industrial engineering. So I researched programs and curriculums in different schools, and I thought U of T is really suitable for me. But another thing is the post-graduation opportunities, more generally in Canada, but also in U of T. And if I need to add PEY to that as well, PEY has definitely been a convincing point for me because such a big opportunity for everyone who decides to, take that path. So yeah, I would say, the like my desire to live in a city plus the post-graduation opportunities and PY, I think those were the major points that helped me to decide on UFT.
Thanks, Emma. We'll go to Mema, and I think there's a couple questions in the chat that are relevant to Mema, were you a scholarship recipient?
No.
Okay, so maybe I'll ask Buse when you talk about your experience later. And Paloma, were you a scholarship recipient? Okay, so you guys can talk about scholarships. Mema, why don't you go ahead and give us your answer?
Yeah, so when I look back to when I was applying, I was mainly focused on what school had the best engineering program. So I wasn't focused on too much about the rankings, but I was just looking at what the engineering program could offer me in the future. So I was really big on career-related opportunities. So I saw that U of T engineering had lots of clubs, design clubs, and ways for me to get involved to boost up my resume and like get access to opportunities around Toronto. And also just being downtown, there are lots of offices here and lots of companies here that are in Toronto. So I really wanted to be close to that. And also diversity was also a big thing for me. I definitely didn't want to go to a school that I did not feel welcome. So yeah, so that was it for me. And applying was really easy because I went to an international school, so they helped me with all of that. And yeah.
Thanks, Mema. Yeah, I mean, so far everyone sort of mentioned careers. I think as a factor, especially when I talk to students who are interested in applying to a professional faculty like engineering, I think careers comes off often. And being in Toronto and having access to the opportunities that Toronto provides, especially I think engineering students, whether it's in the field of tech or not. Of course, tech is a big growing area, but you'll see on our panelists today that most of our panelists, well, none of our panelists today are computer engineering, electrical engineering students, but they're still very hopeful about their careers because there's still plenty of opportunities for all our different programs as well. We'll go to Paloma as our next response.
So basically, I first started researching by making a spreadsheet of all the universities I was kind of considering and all the things that mattered to me. So for example, like I wanted to be in a city or like more suburban area. I didn't want to be in like rural areas, and also like everything like money or diversity, how close to home it was, things like that. And you just put in a spreadsheet and then you have everything in one entire thing and you can just look at it, and that helped me make my decision. And I narrowed it down to 2 universities in the end, one in the US and one in Canada. And due to the pandemic, I considered Canada a bit better because of job prospects. Also, when I was researching, I ended up going to Toronto, and Aaron here was my tour guide, and I had a really good experience.
In the freezing cold.
He helped me like know professors, and they were all super nice, and like the campus was so pretty. Even though I went like in January when it was like
the coldest day,
the middle of winter, yes. And I actually didn't make a decision until the last day. In the end, I got a scholarship. I got half of my tuition paid. And that did have an impact on the decision I made, but most importantly, I did look at the curriculum, how well I fit into the community, and overall, like, yeah, like I'm happy with my decision. I feel like it was all good.
Oh, yeah, Paloma, you definitely, the day you came, we were like, it's the coldest day. This is not going to make a good impression. But I'm glad you liked the campus. Did everyone else get a chance to visit at all? Because I know it's not common for especially international students to be able to come to Toronto to see the campus. Not really, right? No, yeah. Yeah, so you know, a big part of your decision might be seeing the physical environment. Yeah, Harsh, I can talk about the scholarships a little bit more as well. If you do, I mean, we don't really have an alternate right now. I think we're trying to come up with a campus tour that represents the actual on-campus experience. But right now we have campus tours where students talk about their day-to-day experiences and have sort of photos. Hopefully we'll be able to get you to see the campus soon as well. If, you know, it's a big factor for a lot of students who have seen the campus that have decided for them. The scholarship I think Paloma received was the U of T Engineering International Scholarship, which we will still be offering this year. I think last year was one of the first years we've offered such a large amount to students. And I guess in Paloma's case, it did help you finance your education. So hopefully this year we'll be able to offer it to more students. It is an automatic consideration scholarship, so you don't actually have to apply to it. Students who basically complete their application are automatically in the consideration for it. And it's based on your academics and your online student profile performance. So if you want to up your chances, go back into your online student profile, make sure that you're, you know, putting in descriptions for all your extracurriculars and making sure that you're staying up to date on any updates on your application. The other big scholarship that international students can receive is the one I think Buse received, which is the Pearson. Am I correct, Buse? Yeah. Do you want to talk about perhaps your research into U of T, and then also mention how your Pearson application experience was?
Yeah, sure. So when I was in senior year, I already know exactly what I wanted to do, like in terms of my major, chemical engineering. And looking at the program at U of T and all of the other universities, like besides my major, I was also looking into what other opportunities there are. And one of the main things that like interested me in U of T was the like very too much entrepreneurship opportunities. So I had founded a startup here in my country, and it was not too big, and it was a social enterprise, but I wanted to learn more and like maybe do something like that in my own major, like chemical engineering in the future. And I decided that U of T is a great place to do that. And also yeah, one of the main things that affected my decision was, of course, the financial reasons. So I wasn't sure where I wanted to go, and like there was the financial factor. And then I learned I received the full scholarship, Pearson scholarship. I was like, oh my God, that's great, and I'm coming to U of T for sure. So yeah, and yeah, it was like I received my acceptance for U of T in February, I think. Then my scholarship acceptance came during mid-April. It was the school nominates you for the Pearson scholarship, and then you get to like you get a link to a portal where you answer questions like essays, and those essays were like completed in January, and they were mainly about like your what you did besides the academic portion of your high school life, I think, and what you like leadership activities mostly, and you talk about them. Um, also, yeah, the scholarship and the everyone's explained why they chose in terms of academic sense, and I agree with all of those. So I didn't want to mention them again. And like in addition to those, I would say the entrepreneurship opportunities. Yeah, basically.
Have you been able to join any perhaps teams with hatchery, or how have in your, I mean, you've only been a semester here, so I mean, it's asking a lot of you, but have you been able to look into any of that?
Yeah, there was a seminar about this, like an intro to what the opportunities at U of T about entrepreneurship, and like I learned a lot about detail, and I also like joined the program that is like self-paced, and you can access it on Quercus, which is on intellectual property, where you learn about trademarks and patents on your own. And I think that's great because you receive a certificate at the end, so you can put it on your LinkedIn and get to learn about like these kind of legal aspects of entrepreneurship. So I was like very excited to. I'm excited. I didn't complete it yet, but I'm on it right now, so it's great.
I signed up for the course, but I've been procrastinating doing it. But yeah, hopefully it'll be very useful to understand, because I think students like you who are interested in entrepreneurship or have had experience with entrepreneurship often ask us about IP rights and IP issues. And I often find that I don't have enough information about it. So hopefully that course will help me understand a little bit more as well. Question from Abdullah here about tuition fees. If you are a Canadian citizen, regardless of whether or not you're lived outside of Canada or not, you will be paying domestic tuition. So international tuition applies when you're a non-Canadian citizenship or qualify for a few exemptions that we have. So if you are a Canadian citizen, even though you've lived in the United States, you will qualify for domestic tuition. It's a little bit different than, say, I think British students often ask me about sort of like home fee applications. In Canada, you don't really have to apply for it. You just automatically qualify for domestic tuition. So that's, in a way, a scholarship, I guess, for a lot of students applying from international destinations as well. All right, why don't we get our last prepared question out of the way, and then we can sort of have a little bit more of a casual chat. I think Mema mentioned diversity. I think diversity is something that perhaps when you're researching universities doesn't necessarily come to the front of mind, because often you're looking at academics, you're looking at career prospects, but I think has a strong impact once you're here as a student and you're actually going through student life here. Was it, I mean, looking back, do you think it should have been important for you when considering universities, actually being here at U of T, being, in a very diverse city and I think a diverse student body, has that made a positive impact on your studies? How has that impacted your experience as an international student, basically, as I'm asking? So I think we'll start with Emre this time.
So in my first year, I stayed in Chestnut, and I think it's a really good opportunity to spend your first year in a dorm, because you get to know so many people from so many backgrounds. Like, for example, I had friends coming like all around the world, and since like everyone is coming from different places, everyone is seeking for new friendships and like opportunities to get to know each other. Therefore, everyone is kind of open to new friendships and conversations, especially like I don't know, for like first 2 months. I think everyone is just like chatting with each other and getting to know each other. And of course, this creates an environment, like with this diversity creates an environment that nobody will feel like an outsider, because in an environment like this, you can't see and you won't see any, people who are like grouping with, their own friends. Everyone will try to build their own friend group. So it really creates a great environment. So yeah, that's about it.
I think Emma and Busa, you went to the same school, and I think there have been, even for Dokan, I think you went to Robert, right? You've had peers from your school come to U of T before. Has their experience about being in Toronto impacted your decision at all?
So for me, for example, me and Dokan, we're like studying. We came from the same city and we're studying the same program. That of course creates a easy path for us to get to know each other. But we, like in our friend group, okay, yeah, we have Turkish people, but we also have people from, I don't know, like random places in the world as well. Like it's not solely Turkish people. Like yes, it's easier to connect with people who like came from the same place as you did, but it's really easy to connect with people who came from different parts of the world as well.
Let's go to Mema.
Yeah, so for me, diversity was, as I said before, it was a major thing for me. I didn't want to be in a secluded place or somewhere that's not, diverse enough. So in my first year, I stayed in Chestnut. And as Emery said, like it's easier to connect with people where you're from. But yeah, I had to like branch out to and just be open to meeting new people. And that was really enjoyable, actually, getting to know a lot of people from Trinidad, from London, from Turkey. So it was really a good experience for me because I definitely didn't want to be secluded to people who are from Nigeria. So yeah, obviously I still have Nigerian friends, but it was really good for me to have a lot of friends that are not from where I'm from because that's the experience that I wanted to gain.
Thanks, Mema. Paloma, you've had quite an international experience already before you joined U of T, right?
Yeah, I went to an international school, so I kind of already like had a sense of what an international community looked like. But U of T is a much bigger university, and the diversity is unmatched compared to my 100 student class here in Panama. So like even online, I've made a lot of friends. I've met people from like India, Sri Lanka, Costa Rica, Mexico, like you name it. And it has honestly helped me a lot to like feel more included because everyone's really open-minded. But at the same time, even if we're all different, we've grown to become a really tightly knit community. And I think that's also because the university really helps out, even in these difficult circumstances, to make sure that students feel connected by hosting events. And even Frosh Week, even though it was online, was really fun, and I made a lot of friends there too. I also know a lot of people from Chestnut, and they always have fun. They try to hang out as much as they can. And so, like online or in person, I think diversity has really made my experience better. And I think it has made other people's experience better, even if it's online.
Yeah, I think I didn't realize that like especially for you, Paloma and Buset, I wouldn't have had an in-person experience yet. Buset, are you on campus right now or are you still at home?
Oh no, I'm still at home and I'm going on January, I hope.
Yeah, so I mean, for Busa at least, you haven't even seen the campus yet at this point. But have you been able to?
Yeah.
Sitting here next on my list, have you been able to? Have you been able to meet people online? Has it been conducive to knowing the community?
I met people, of course, but like, I mean, I'm not really good at meeting people online, I think. But like in our APS 111 course, we were in teams and there were a lot of people who came from different places. And that was really interesting and fun because like to meet them, like not just in an academic environment, but also we got to become friends. So that was great. And I hope to make friends in Chestnut when I go there as well and like get a sense of the diverse community there.
Hopefully, I'll have you sit on a panel with more ChemEng students, and then you can meet some of them on a recruitment panel. All right, I'm going to Dokkan as I think our last response.
I think like U of T actually like pushes you in a great manner to get out of your comfort zone and meet new people. I never like forget my experience in my fresh week. I didn't know anybody. I didn't even know like any of the people from my country throughout fresh week, and like I really had to get out of my comfort zone to get to meet new people. And I think it's really an opening experience to like get to know other people's stories, like how they were raised, like how they ended up at U of T, why did they like choose U of T, and also like Toronto is a really diverse environment. A lot of people from a lot of different places, so I would say it's definitely a great experience, and U of T just provides the right environment, and I would say the right communal skills, and like it just like pushes you to get out of your comfort zone. So it was definitely a great experience in that, I would say. And yeah, I just got to meet a lot of great people in my first year, and I'm still meeting a lot of new people, so it was definitely great.
Thanks. We have a question from Harsh about staying in residence. Just can I get a show of hands from anyone else who stayed on residence? I mean, not the first years, but okay, so everyone else stayed on residence. You all stayed at Chestnut, right? Is that correct? How has that experience been helpful, I guess, for you? You talked a little bit about it already. I think, Mema, you talked about meeting people on your floor. What is the Chestnut experience like for you? Was it what you expected from a residence experience? I think maybe I'll start with Emma again because you haven't talked in a while.
Yeah, okay. So for me, I think it's easy to say that pretty much I got all of my friends from Chestnut, because I think it's safe to say that Chestnut is pretty much like an engineering dorm. So the same people you see in your class, after class you see the same people in Chestnut. So it's easy to find some topics that like common topics that you can talk about. And you know, as I said earlier, this creates a friendly environment. So on purpose, I chose my roommate from a different nationality, just to have that international experience. And I think it was a great choice. I really had a great time with my roommate, as well as like my other friends. So I think like Chestnut alone has created, you know, maybe 80% of my first year experience with everything, like the academic life, the social life, because you just spend your time there, like you study there, you socialize there, you like, I don't know, party there. Everything is basically in Chestnut.
You bring up a good point because you talk about the roommate matching process. Maybe I'll get Mema to talk a little bit more about this, because at Chestnut it's sort of like a game, right? You play like a matching game right before you move in. How is the roommate sort of process for you, Mema?
Actually, I don't think I'd be the right person to answer this because I already knew
Oh.
my roommate before I got into Chestnut. We already agreed that we're gonna stay together. So yeah.
Like you knew her, or you knew them before you went to school?
Yeah, I knew her. She was in my high school in Nigeria. So
Oh,
yeah.
that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything you want to add, Mema, about the residence experience?
Oh yeah, the residence experience was really unique for me. I did not stay on an engineering floor, and there were actually not that many engineers, but I got to meet people from social sciences and Rotman. And so it was just a really fun floor. They would always just knock on my door randomly and be like, Mema, come out of your room, let's do something. And it was just really fun having that experience and just knowing that you could knock on people's door randomly and they'd let you in. So it was really nice, and I really loved my floor. Yeah, and also like studying, it was we used to go to 27th floor to study, and it was just nice like seeing all the other students stressing out about something, and you're like, you know, you can relate because we're all doing the same thing. It was just really fun experience in Chestnut.
Yeah, it's a nice view up there, right? It's where you can see the fireworks, I guess, at New Year's and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. Paloma and Busa are just dreaming about the residence experience. Dogan, anything to add on your residence experience, perhaps?
My experience was really similar to Mama's and Emre's experiences, I would say. And like Chestnut is a really interesting place to live because it's basically a hotel, like 27th floor hotel, but it's like converted into a dorm. And when I was first moving in, I actually thought like I wouldn't get the full like residence experience, but it was the exact opposite actually. Like having really like there are like as my friends mentioned, there are actually floor teams, and I was in on the arts floor, so I got to meet a lot of people from like the conservatory and a lot of people that were doing social sciences, and it was just a really interesting experience to like get to know how other people were like getting through U of T and how their experiences were shaped in the first year. And the good thing is I also got to meet a lot of people that played music. So I was also playing a lot of music. I was playing a lot of saxophone. So that was definitely a great experience. And Chestnut is a great place to live, I would say.
It's so interesting to see that, like, which of you chose to, well, I don't know if you chose or ended up at engineering floors and non-engineering floors, because I often talk about it as if sort of engineering floors are the only choice to students, because, why not? Why not be with friends that go to the same class as you and have the same experience as you? But you bring up good points, Mema and Dogan, especially about living with students from other faculties and other disciplines, and perhaps getting to know them on a different shared interest or shared experience. So I guess, yeah, there's choice, right? In terms of what you want your residence experience to be. In terms of, why everyone's talking about Chestnut is where the majority of engineering students stay on residence. Of course, on your residence application, you can choose to apply to an alternate residence space. So that would be one of the colleges as part of the Faculty of Arts and Sciences, but because there's limited space for engineering students at the other residences, in most cases, students end up staying at Chestnut anyway, which is why we built so much engineering specific experiences at Chestnut. Towards the new year, in I think January, February-ish, we will start running sessions that are more resident specific. So you'll get some more information about that in the new year, which I think Paloma and Buse probably were subjected to in the spring last year as well, or this year, I guess, when we did all the online programming for students too. Yeah, and for all first year students, correct me if I'm wrong, it's a double room experience at Chestnut for your first year. Yeah. So for first year students at Chestnut, you would have a roommate for sure. Again, it's sort of, yeah, Emma, go ahead.
But I think they changed it this year. I think because of the pandemic, all rooms are single this year, but I don't know like what we'll do next year. But for us, it was like that. Like if you're up to year, you get to choose if you want a single room. But if you're first year, you just have to go with the double.
Yeah, for this year, there's no sort of door knocking experience like Mema described. Everyone's sort of staying indoors and staying safe for those of you who are living on residence this year. Yeah, so if you're looking for a residence experience where you sort of share a kitchen or a lounge, that's more, I guess, Innis College would be what you'd be looking for. So on your residence application, you can put Innis College as your first choice instead of Chestnut. I think we're getting close to the hour here, so why don't we try and squeeze in Elhan's question, which I think, Elhan, you had your hand up. Do you want to ask your question out loud, or do you want to just read out your question in the chat? Okay, I'll just, oh, there you go. All right. Hello.
Hi, guys. So my question was basically, I mean, I had all my questions answered anyway. So I just wanted to ask all of you, what is the one thing that you all love about U of T as an international student that you don't think you would receive anywhere else?
I love this experience of like hosting a radio show almost. All right, Elhan, you can decide who goes first.
What? Okay.
Who's your favorite panelist so far? You can ask them to go first.
Oh, okay. Oh my God, no, I don't know. I think everybody contributed to what I was looking for through this session so much. So I really can't choose. It's like making me choose between my favorite band, and I can't do that. So yeah, I think
Very diplomatic. All right. I'll get Mema to go first then in this case. I think it's the fourth person going first now.
Okay, yeah, for me, it's definitely the community that we have as engineering students. Everyone is just so nice and everyone is helpful. I don't think anyone wants to see anyone else fail. It's not as competitive as it would have been probably in high school. I don't know. But yeah, we definitely have a strong community, especially if you're friends with a lot of engineering students. You definitely find comfort in the fact that we're all going through the same thing and we're all looking to have great careers. So it's a great experience so far, just meeting people who are forward thinking like you and who are ambitious and who are just like doing well in school. So you always have that help. So yeah.
Paloma, you're in the same program.
Yeah, so pretty much I think it's also the community, but not only the students, but also like the professors. Like for the first semester I've been here, they all have been really open. They have office hours. They're really open-minded. They really accommodate to your needs, and like they gave us extensions a lot of the time because they realized that we were under a lot of pressure, and I think that's really good about it. You can always reach out to like anyone, to be honest, like professors, TAs, other students from like outside of engineering, and more specific to mechanical. Since Mech and Indy are really close, we always do things together. So like I know that there have been events where they hosted like Among Us, and they just played, and I went to one where there was a scavenger hunt, and you can just go and you meet new people, and that's how I've made a lot of friends, and that's how I've like really experienced the community, even like from my bedroom, pretty much. So yeah.
I've just been educated by my friends what Among Us is this week, and it seems fun. It seems fun. Paloma, and then we'll go to Set.
I would agree with Paloma, and like for example, to what she said, there are group chats for like classes, and when you're stuck in a homework problem and you send it there, like what did you guys do here, and everyone tries to like guide you through the towards the correct answer, and that's great, I think, because like everyone's very helpful. And also like when you email a TA for like a question and it's like really basic, and like you get a response immediately, and I really like that because they're really helpful. Everyone's really helpful. That's also what I love about U of T.
Jagu-kan.
I think I would definitely say the people. Like U of T has an amazing community, and I would say it's a very uplifting community. I had some hard times where I was like real busy. I had to study a lot, but like through those times, like I had these opportunities where I would like take a break and I would have like a new concept in mind, and that would be because of like the other people that I met, and like I would just have a good mood because the community is just I would say so strong and like so great. The people are amazing at U of T, so that's definitely I would say that was my favorite thing, but also the city life is a whole different experience. I would say just the college, like you're at college, but you're also in Toronto. It's like an intertwined experience, and that's definitely a great thing to experience.
Yeah, I think I often say to international students, especially students who come from like, major cities like Istanbul, that Toronto is like kind of a perfect size city. Like it's not too big. It's not sort of like, Manhattan or anything like that. But, you have all the right things that a city needs to have. But you still have a relatively quiet experience, right? As a university student.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh, Emma, last word. You're muted.
Yeah, I totally agree with Doğukan because like people really help you while you're having some hard time, especially like in the residence when you're like having a difficulty with anything, especially with the classes, because like sometimes it can be hard, like transitioning from high school to college. So when you're having a hard time with classes, since you're living in a residence with like 1,000 people, you see other people like also having troubles. So it just motivates you to study, and like you just think, oh, like it's not only me, other people are also having some problems, and it's always super easy to find someone to study with, someone to explain you like the concepts in a class that you didn't understand. So everyone is super helpful, of course, including professors and TAs. You can always go to the office hours and tutorials. And I think one unique experience about UFT is this supportive community that is, for everyone.
All right, I think we're almost at the time. How many of you still have exams left? Are most of you done? Oh, everyone still has exams left. Okay, great. So I'm gonna ask my audience, in the chat, if you could just wish our panelists good luck on their exams, and thank them for taking the time to speak to us. Hopefully people type in the chat. We've been talking about warm communities for so long. Okay, great. Thanks, Elhan. Yeah, for me too. Good luck on your exams. Thank you so much for taking the time from all around the world to do this. If you want to stick around and watch the chat go by, I think it's a nice little feel-good moment. Anyone have a sort of a last word that they want to put in before we end this panel? I'll take a hand up, I guess. A well wish to anyone? No? All right, I'll do it. I guess happy holidays if you're celebrating. If you still have exams in high school, good luck on your exams. And we'll sort of see you in the new year. Paloma, was that a hand up? No, okay, great, okay. All right, thanks everyone. I really appreciate you being on the panel. I hope you enjoyed it. The recording will be available to students who registered who weren't able to attend as well. So if you need, you can email us. All right, happy holidays. Thanks everyone.